Hey, welcome back to Get Down to Business. True command in life and business requires an extraordinary level of discipline and resilience and the willingness to step out of comfortable routines to test yourself on the front lines. Whether you're navigating financial markets, stepping into an arena, or scaling a real estate firm, long-term victory is never built on luck. It's forged by playing the long game, investing in yourself relentlessly, and cultivating deep, authentic relationships. My guest today is a high-performing leader who has mastered three completely distinct, high-stakes careers. Lawrence Dunning grew his own derivatives trading firm to a multi-million-dollar valuation before the age of 30, walked away from that fortune to compete globally as a professional MMA fighter across 6 continents, and then starting from scratch at age 35, he built a top-tier real estate brokerage and development enterprise in Chicago. On top of holding a second-degree jiu-jitsu black belt and completing marathons on all 7 continents, he hosts the top-ranked podcast, Enter the Lionheart. Lawrence, welcome to Get Down to Business.
Well, thank you so much. What a great intro.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm just like looking at that background, multi-million-dollar net worth in derivatives trading before age 30, walking away, competing as a professional MMA fighter across 6 continents. I have to ask, what internal drive made you trade the comfort of financial victory for the raw physical pressure of the ring?
Such a good question. I remember having breakfast with one of my good friends on the trading floor, a big guy, very successful, a bit older than me. And when I told him my plans to walk away and follow my dreams in fighting, he leaned back and he said, "Your life's too good, Lawrence. You'll never do it." But I think I just always had a fear of being old with regrets. And I think anytime, and I love the fact in your intro, you mentioned playing the long game. Anyone successful plays the long game, has a long time horizon. And I think I just did that, and I extrapolated for when I'm 80 years old, at the end of my life, would I have regrets if I don't do this? And the answer was clearly yes. So I was like, I got to do it. And yes, I left millions of dollars on the table. I made a lot of financial mistakes, but I don't have any regrets because we have a lifetime to make money. But we just have these small windows to do things like athletic goals and things like that.
At age 35, you started completely from scratch in the real estate industry, eventually becoming a top 1% agent in Chicago and completing major ground-up developments. When starting over in a brand new field where you have no authority, how do you rapidly build credibility and scale an enterprise?
Looking back, it was incredibly humbling. I always joke, the first year in real estate, I made what I could have made in one good day trading. But I knew that it was about putting a good foundation in. And in your intro, you also mentioned relationships. And I think that was so important. That did take a while to build those. But now I work with a dozen different developers, either selling their projects or partnering with them on ground up development. And that did take a bit of time. And I knew it would. But that was the key to the business is just, don't rush the process. It takes time to build good relationships. But once you build them, they'll, hopefully I'm going to be working with these people for the rest of my life.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with Lawrence Dunning, the host of the top-ranked podcast, Enter the Lionheart, and so much more. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But you speak very candidly, Lawrence, about your setbacks, including a costly business partnership that went wrong. Walk us through that experience and the critical lessons it taught you about trusting your gut instincts over pure logical analysis.
Oh, so glad you asked me that. So I had this feeling with this ex-business partner who ended up screwing me over. And every time I was with him, he had everything right on paper. But there was something in my gut, this energy that as soon as we finished the meeting, I just wanted to leave. And I was always like, I'm done with him. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And I was actually really frustrated with myself because I was thinking, what is wrong with me? And that was my subconscious telling me there was something off about this guy. And then when COVID came and the world shut down, we had 9 multi-unit projects, all at different stages of development. And he basically had me co-sign all his construction loans and then declare bankruptcy and leave me with all these lawsuits and all these headaches. And then I realized years later, he had been lying to me for many years. And it was a very painful lesson, but it was a great one because I think now I'm really trying, and it's so hard for intellectual people, but I'm trying to trust my gut. When you're with somebody, they have 3 types of energy. Either you want to be with them, you want to get away from them, or you're kind of apathetical, kind of neutral. And I'm trying to design my life so that I'm around people as much of the time whose energy I want to be with them. It attracts me to them. And then the people that I don't have that feeling, I try and avoid them. And it's easier said than done in business and life, but you can make a conscious effort to do that and to trust your gut. And trusting your gut is so hard because it's so, it's just this weird gut feeling. It's nothing. I'm a scientific guy. I like numbers and things in front of me. You can't really put your finger on the feeling, but it's so important. Trust your gut.
Yeah, your overarching philosophy rests on three pillars: playing the long game, relentless self-investment, and building genuine relationships. We've kind of touched on all these already, but in a fast-paced corporate culture that often prioritizes short-term shortcuts, how do you maintain the internal discipline to stay focused on long horizon growth?
I think it's daily habits. So I think goals are great. I've always been a big goal setter, but goals are far out. I tend to every year, I write down year goals and I write down 1 day goals. Maybe that's 5, 10 years down the road. Goals are great because they set the direction, but the direction is going to be taking little daily steps towards that goal. So I think every day I just try to do things that move me slightly closer towards my goal. And luckily, once you design your days like that, it becomes much more routine. Because I've been an entrepreneur since I was 24. I haven't had a set schedule, but it kind of forces you to create your own schedule that takes you, towards your goals. So I think just getting the goals is great for the direction, but you want to have the daily habits to move you there.
That's good advice. Lawrence Dunning, I want to make sure we leave our listeners where can they find your podcast? Where can they get in touch with you to learn more about your amazing story and continue learning from you?
Oh, I appreciate that. Lawrence Dunning, I'm pretty easy to find. LinkedIn and Instagram are probably the best two platforms where I post a lot of things, and I really appreciate you taking the time.
We'll link in the show notes and can't wait to have you back, my friend. Appreciate it. Lawrence Dunning. We'll be right back.